Hello everyone, welcome to Johnny Rowe Cooks. My name is Johnny Rowe and today we're gonna teach you how to make kimchi using Napa cabbage. Today we're gonna make the most commonly eaten type of kimchi called mat kimchi, which is made from using Chinese cabbage or Napa cabbage, same thing, or in Korean we call it pechu, okay, which means cabbage. Here's our first piece of Napa cabbage. And I can't stress this enough, make sure you have 6 pounds worth of cabbage for this recipe. So the first thing we do is we make a cut right down the center of this core and cut straight down about 1/3 of the way and simply just tear it open. So if you tear it open like this, you keep the cabbage, the leafy parts kind of intact here. And then do it to this other half here that we have. Same idea. Straight down through that core. And then split it open. Just like that. Beautiful. Here we have the core and it's keeping all the individual pieces of cabbage together, of course. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna cut that off. I'm gonna tilt the cabbage up a little bit and just cut it off. This you can dispose of, okay? We're not gonna need that. And then all the smaller pieces on top of the cabbage here, I'm just gonna slide them off like these little guys and throw these directly into my bucket. And then simply just cut them to nice bite-sized pieces, about 2 inches in length, and throw them into your bucket. These ones, you notice the leafy pieces, these are obviously bigger than 2 inches square, but you know what, they're gonna shrink. Once the salt hits these pieces, they are going to shrivel up into nice small pieces. So don't worry about the leafy pieces so much, you can add those in large, okay? So we've finished cutting up our first head of cabbage. You wanna add 4 tablespoons of salt, 4 tablespoons after the first head of cabbage has been cut, and another 4 tablespoons after the second head of cabbage is cut. And we're just gonna stack them on top of each other here. Second, just give it a little shake. And here's our last tablespoon. And now we're just gonna cut the second piece of cabbage now and add it on top of this. Okay, that's the last bit there. 2 heads of Napa cabbage are inside of this bucket, and we're just gonna add 1 more layer of salt, which is 4 tablespoons of salt. We're just gonna spread all across here. Here's the cabbage here with all the salt in it. And over the next 2 hours now, we're gonna come back in 20-minute intervals, and then we're gonna give the cabbage a nice mix. Here we're going on the second mix. I don't know if you can tell, but you can see, oh yeah. Tell that the cabbage is getting pretty sweaty and moist. The salt is doing its thing. So here we are with our 4th mix. As you can tell here, there's a lot of water that has been extracted out of the cabbage, the Napa cabbage. This did not exist about an hour ago. All of that water came out of the cabbage. The salting is doing its job. So here we have it, our final mix. Now all we have to do next is just rinse it. Grab a handful, give it a little wiggle, and then let's transfer it over. Oh yeah. We're done straining the cabbage here. And I'm just gonna taste it now to make sure that it's not too salty. I think that was good. You know what? It might be too salty. So here's all the vegetables that we prepped earlier. I'm just gonna put all those in, the green onions, the regular onions, carrots, 1 teaspoon of our minced ginger that we prepped earlier. We're gonna add 2/3 a cup of our pureed garlic here. A lot of garlic in this kimchi recipe, and I think that's what makes it extra delicious. Here's our second one. Plop that in. Great. We're gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of beef bouillon, or we call it in Korean DASHIDA. 1/2 teaspoon. Going to add next 1 cup of red pepper flakes. There it is. Dump that in. We're gonna put in 3 teaspoons of sugar. 3. This stuff here is called salted shrimp sauce. Take a look at this. Like baby shrimps in a salty little bath there. You need, we're gonna need 2 teaspoons of this. Doesn't look that great, but it's really important and it makes a lot of dishes really delicious. Last thing we're gonna add is 1/2 cup of fish sauce. Let's give that a good mix now. Make sure you're mixing very well. Whew. My arm is getting tired. Give it a taste. Oh yeah. That's gonna be delicious. It's got so much flavor. Oh my goodness. Perfection, really. Your kimchi should already taste good, even before fermentation. If it tastes good like this, it's gonna be way good after fermentation. Dang. So I'm gonna put this in a container now, and I'm gonna let it ferment for about 2 days, and then I'm gonna throw it in the fridge. So put it in a nice cool room, leave it out, ferment it in a jar or like a plastic container or whatever you ferment in, and then throw it in the fridge afterwards. Hey, I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I really hope you try that kimchi recipe out. It is my mother's recipe, and it took me forever to learn and try to master because she never takes measurements, and I had to watch her multiple times and try it multiple times with failure. Finally, I was able to master it. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, it would help a lot. Thank you very much.